This Monday, April 22nd, marked Earth Day, the globally recognised annual event to demonstrate support for environmental protection. I wanted to know from a local environmentalist how we can lessen our impact on the environment by making small changes whilst at home and out and about.
I think it's important not to feel guilty, but yeah, there are things that you can do by choosing carefully when you're shopping, trying to buy things that do have less packaging, recycling things, and visiting the charity shop. An excellent charity shop here that's really good because rather than throwing things away and then buying new, people can reuse them. Being here in the Falkland Islands, a lot of our food's imported. It has a lot of air miles, which will contribute to carbon footprints. But actually buying local is a really good thing to do because it not only supports the local community and the local producers, but it also has less of a carbon footprint, so it's a win-win. One of the main things people can do to reduce their carbon footprint is actually to, and it's not an obvious one, it's actually to look at their pensions and their investments, and making sure that where they're investing their money in pension schemes, that it's not into environmentally unsustainable industries. And actually there's a huge difference in pension schemes, and it's something that one website had as the number one thing that people could do to reduce their carbon footprint was actually to look at their pensions. So it's quite an interesting one and something that people might not be aware of, but something that they could do if they wanted to do something for World Earth Day. From our side of things, from conservation, joining in some tussock planting when we have tussock planting events, doing clean-up events when there's beach cleans and things like that.
The official theme of this year's Earth Day is Planet versus Plastics. But given that plastic is not recyclable here in the Falklands, Glenn had some ideas on what to do with those empty plastic bottles and food wrappers.
Making eco bricks is something that's quite a good thing to do. We encourage people to kind of collect their single-use plastics and put them into bottles, which we then store at the moment, which we're then going to make things out of, so that rather than throwing out all the rubbish, we can actually do something with it.
I couldn't help but find out more about eco bricks, so followed Glenn to the library where he showed a few members of the community how you can make them yourselves at home.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you today about eco bricks. It's basically, before I sort of show you how to make them, it's basically a way to deal with single-use plastics, because there's so many sort of plastics that we use every day, as you can see from the packets and things that we've got out on the table. And here in the Falklands, generally what happens is they get thrown away. They go to Eliza Cove tip. So it's a kind of solution for what we can do to improve that situation. And it is really, really simple in terms of what they are, because it is a plastic bottle, and we get the material, the single-use plastic, and we put it into the plastic bottle. And that's basically it. The key thing is to really compact the plastic down. Because then we can make things with them, and you can actually use them as bricks. So what we are doing at Falklands Conservation, we are getting as many of these as we can, and when we have enough, and we're going to need quite a lot, we're actually going to try and make some things out of them, including some furniture for the watch group. Okay, because what you do is you get 9 of these, you stick them together, and that kind of forms the basis of a building structure, and then you kind of put one set of 9 on top of another set of 9. You can actually build things up, and to make things they need to be really solid. I can't remember the exact amount, but it's something like 700 pieces of plastic that we managed to get into one eco brick. So if we're getting loads and loads of different eco bricks, and you've got kind of 700 pieces of plastic in each one, that's a lot of plastic that we're taking out of the potential to kind of blow around the environment.
According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, around 70% of carbon dioxide emissions stem from just 100 companies worldwide. And the concept of a carbon footprint, the measure of our personal impact on the environment, was the brainchild of BP. Yes, the multi-billion-pound oil and gas giant. So I asked Glenn how to turn the tide on the helplessness we can all feel in the face of these facts.
You can look in the news and there's all these depressing stats and things, but actually there's a lot of good going on. There's a lot of things things going on. So on Middle Island, for example, with the tussock planting, we planted over 10 hectares of tussock on there, and it's really transformed, or starting to transform the island. It's really making a difference. It's something that sort of individuals can do. In terms of large corporations, if people have viewpoints on things about unsustainable industries or anything, make your voice heard. Whether it's on social media or going direct to MLAs, if there's anything that people wanted to say. But you know, I think there's a lot of individuals that are very environmentally minded, and they might be, you know, sat at home sort of thinking, oh, you know, on my own I can't make a difference. But actually, make your voice heard, and if lots of people make the voices heard on environmental issues, then it will make a difference.
So now you can make your own impact this Earth Day and join in with the millions of people already making such a difference with incredible steps to protect our environment and care for our planet.